Have you ever wondered why, even when you know what you need to do, you still don't do it? Why it feels like something always holds you back the moment you try to change? Why you keep making the same mistakes, fall into the same relationships, abandon the same plans, and at the end of the day, it just feels like your life isn't moving? Here's the truth. Your brain is manipulating you. It built an automatic system, a silent survival mode, and while you think you're in control, it's right there, whispering, "Stay here. It's safer. Don't try. You'll fail. Better not act. Better not try. Better not be." That's why you're frustrated. That's why you feel stuck. That's why you keep cycling through efforts and breakdowns. And the worst part? You don't even realize it. Because the autopilot kicked in so long ago that now it feels normal. But the truth is brutal. Your mind was trained to keep you small. And unless you wake up to that, you'll keep calling life what is actually a prison disguised as routine. You know that voice that shows up every time you try to start something new? The one that says, "This isn't for you." You've tried before. It didn't work. Why bother trying again? That voice isn't your intuition. It's your programming. And that programming was installed long before you had a choice. When you were a kid, what hurt was recorded. What scared you was memorized. And what felt acceptable got rewarded. Your brain started learning how to keep you safe. But somewhere along the way, it started confusing safety with stagnation. And now, it does everything it can to keep you paralyzed in a world that already broke you once, but feels familiar. That's why change terrifies you. That's why you self-sabotage the second things start getting better. That's why the idea of winning makes you anxious. But failing feels strangely comfortable. Your brain got you addicted to the very routine that's holding you hostage, to the thoughts that destroy you, to the feelings that freeze you. And it uses everything it can to keep the loop running. Your notifications, the endless scroll, the quick hits of dopamine that numb the emptiness, the invisible addictions you don't even know you have. Ever notice how it's easier to binge videos than to face what really matters? How it's easier to stay distracted than to confront the truth about yourself? It's because your brain has learned to reward you for not acting. Every time you give in, every time you say, "Just for today, I'm doing nothing," every time you whisper, "I'll start on Monday," you strengthen the pattern. Your brain releases dopamine. It whispers, "You're fine," but you're not. You're sinking. And the worst part? You're doing it with a smile on your face. Because that's how manipulation works. Not with screaming, not with threats, but with comfort. With this false sense that your life is still under your control, when really it's being run by an old, outdated, self-sabotaging program. You know what's really terrifying? You actually believe you're okay. You tell yourself you're in the process. You repeat, "I just need a little more time. I'll start tomorrow. Next week I'll change everything." And you believe it, honestly. Because it's easier to trust that your future self will handle it than to admit that your present self is completely stuck. That hope feels good. It eases the guilt. It softens the weight. But it's a lie. A dressed-up version of stagnation. And it plays on repeat. Today you distract yourself. Tomorrow you feel guilty. The day after, you swear you'll change. And in the end, you're right back where you started. Because the comfort of that illusion is addictive. It's like a warm blanket wrapped around a dying body. You're not healing. But you also don't feel the cold truth. Time passes, not days, years. And one day, you look back and realize your life wasn't built on action. It was built on promises, to yourself. And none of them were kept. That's why you're frustrated but still not changing. Because you've grown comfortable using tomorrow as a painkiller. But here's the brutal truth. Tomorrow never came. How many plans have you made? How many fresh starts have you announced to yourself? How many times have you said, "This time it's different"? And was it? Be honest. What's actually changed? Because if all you do is plan, but never act, you're not evolving. You're daydreaming inside a golden prison. And the worst part? You've started calling it growth. Self-deception is the cruelest kind of cage, because it comes with smiles, with pretty phrases, with the comforting lie that you're trying. But trying without confrontation is just another chapter in the same tired story. You want to get out of this? You want to break the cycle? You really want to change? Then get ready. Because it's not going to be pretty. Don't wait for motivation. It never shows up. Motivation is just a temporary chemical spike. And if you need that to act, you've already lost. The way out isn't about feeling ready. It's about moving anyway. Through fear, through doubt, through pain, through that voice telling you, what's the point? Because that voice won't shut up. Your brain will scream. It'll sabotage. It'll craft the most convincing excuses you've ever heard. It'll remind you of everything that went wrong. It'll drag up every failure. It'll whisper, now's not the right time. You're too tired. Tomorrow will be better. And you'll want to believe it. But if you don't walk straight through that fire, you'll stay trapped in the fake paradise called, someday I'll change. And time, it'll pass. Slowly, at first. Then faster. And one day, you'll wake up and realize that years have gone by. You'll look back and see that you didn't live. You didn't build. You didn't conquer. All you did was wait. Then comes the regret. The frustration. That silent, choking desperation of realizing you were your own worst enemy. And when that weight hits you, it doesn't come alone. It drags your self-worth down with it. You start seeing yourself as a failure. That helplessness turns into pain, the pain into numbness, the numbness into depression. All because you believed, tomorrow I'll do better. But tomorrow doesn't come for the ones living anesthetized. You need to face something brutal. Parts of you will have to die. The part that procrastinates, the part that self-sabotages, the part that's terrified of being rejected, the part that would rather be accepted than be free. And those parts, they won't leave quietly. They'll scream, they'll fight, they'll cling to life. But you have to kill them. Because as long as they live, you won't. Not truly. And no, it won't happen all at once. The fight is daily. It's quiet. It's between you and you. No one's coming to save you. No one can do this for you. No one will even notice when you start the war inside. But the day you win your first battle against your inner saboteur, the world will feel it. Because a fully conscious human being shifts the energy of everything around them. You want out of this prison? Then stop chasing relief and start chasing discomfort. Yeah, you heard that right. You need to learn how to enjoy the right kind of pain. The kind that builds you. The kind that breaks you open so you can rebuild stronger. The kind that doesn't give you instant results, but changes everything on the inside. As long as your brain keeps looking for the easy way out, it'll keep you stuck in the same life. Stuck in distractions, in instant pleasure, in the lie that you're trying. But when you flip the script, when you throw yourself into what's hard, when you face the one thing you've been avoiding the most, you change your biology. You teach your mind to associate pain with growth. And then something shifts. Not from the outside in, but from the inside out. You start waking up craving discomfort. You feel most alive when you're doing the thing you hate. You feel real pride, not because you won, but because you showed up when everything in you screamed to quit. That's the new addiction you need, getting hooked on the discomfort that sets you free. And here's the part no one tells you. You're going to have to say no. No to the invitations that pull you away from your purpose. No to the friends who just want to keep you stuck in the same old loop. And yes, sometimes no to your own family. Yeah. You'll have to reject advice, expectations, and emotional pressure from people you love, because they're unintentionally pulling you down. You'll have to disappoint the ones who raised you. Break promises you made back when you didn't even know who you were. It'll hurt. It'll feel like loneliness. But it's not. It's cleansing. You're not losing friends. You're not betraying your family. You're betraying the cycle that's been killing you slowly. You're saying yes to something bigger, your reconstruction. Want some brutal advice? Do one thing every day that you hate, but you know makes you stronger. Wake up earlier. Train. Read. Handle that task you've been avoiding. Sit in silence for 10 minutes without numbing yourself. And yeah, skip that hangout that drains you. even if it's wrapped in the words, "Come on, we miss you." These small daily wars, they pull you out of the fog. They remind you of what you're made of. They show you who you could become if you just stop running from what confronts you. Because no one's born strong. Strength comes from doing what you least want to do, over and over again. And the more you do it, the more your mind learns. Freedom lives there, in discomfort, in resistance, in the chaos that builds you. Now you know. You know why you feel stuck. You know why change never comes. You know why the days keep passing, and nothing ever really shifts. You're not living. You're functioning, like a trained machine, programmed, conditioned, obedient. But now, you've seen the code. You've understood the system, and that changes everything. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. You might try to go back to the numb routine. You might pretend you didn't hear any of this. You might drown yourself in the same distractions. But something inside you has already been activated, and it won't let you rest until you do what needs to be done. The truth is simple. You know too much to keep hiding. You've felt too much to keep pretending you're okay. You've cried in silence. You've imploded on the inside. You've hated yourself for repeating the same patterns. Enough. This video isn't just a reflection. It's a warning, a scream, a mirror. It's the start of war. Not against the world, but against everything that was installed in you without your permission. Don't expect the process to be beautiful. Expect it to be real. You will bleed. You will want to quit. You'll doubt yourself dozens of times. But if you keep going, there will come a day when you wake up and realize you're actually living. Not functioning, not faking. Living. For real. And that day will be the most important day of your life. This is Mental Rebellion. Not a channel, a resistance. Not motivation. War.